time to burn some Palo Santo and all of your incense. See, Palo Santo is a clearing smoke. You know, we're talking about an air sign. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, Steve. Welcome, April. Thanks for joining. We're talking about this new moon in Gemini tonight and how it will affect you as we approach this weekend. Hey, my cousin Kenya, I'm looking forward to your wedding in Cancun. I can't wait. My cousin Kenya makes this delicious, amazing cakes called the Cake Factory Atlanta. So proud of her. But it's a good time to do smoke. You know, like sage is a clearing and clears the energy. Palo Santo does the same thing, but in a more less aggressive way, more a calmer, fresh way. So as we tune in, I'm here with my Koji time. This one is all about air. Gemini. Know any Geminis in your life? I remember in 2022, I made a statement that I didn't know very many Geminis and I didn't have a lot surrounding me in my life. And I swear after that, for like the next 3 weeks, every new person I met was a Gemini. It's almost like I'm not going to be left out. You're not going to forget about me. So Gemini, can't you feel it? You can feel the air flowing. Aside from, you know, using your smoke and your incense, it's a great time to get into breath work. Just take that next breath. It's a good time to sigh. Bring your shoulders up to your ears and just let it go. But you can feel the shift as we move allegedly towards the warmer weather. Although here in Southern California, it's still been kind of cool. We will be looking forward to these days soon when the full heat of summer comes. But welcome to the new moon in Gemini. This new moon is coming in this Saturday. So it's coming in during an amazing weekend time. The weekend is, thank you, love you too. Thank you so much. Father's Day is coming up. And for many folks, it's going to be a long weekend because of Juneteenth. And as I think about Juneteenth, it's kind of perfect in alignment with Gemini season because Gemini, like Aquarius, highly intellectual, very versatile, very inclusive, and interested in everyone having opportunities, everyone being equal. So Gemini is a sign of the twins, representing duality. So we will have two-sided questions going on right now. Should I go right or should I go left? Should I stay or should I move forward? When you think of Gemini, the mantra for Gemini is I think. I mean, they're one of the highest intellectual signs in the zodiac. Oftentimes they're guilty of being a lot in their head and assessing and thinking. But they are, again, that help move our generation, the humanity forward. Their power energy is versatility, being able to be agile and versatile and move and make changes and quite quickly because, again, they're air signs can move and get into the crevices and before you know it, they've moved on. And the key word is communication. It's important for Gemini to be able to articulate themselves, express themselves, and they do it very, very well. Oftentimes, Geminis are accused of talking a lot, but what I love about Gemini is even when they talk a lot, they have a lot to say, and it's good stuff. They're super intellectual. I can't say that enough. So it's an air sign. When I think of air signs, I always think of the heart center because Geminis are famous for following their hearts. Again, the sign of the twins, the duality, but at the end of the day, Geminis always circle back to themselves and they do what they want to do and they follow their heart. So we all have Gemini somewhere in our charts. So I would take a moment. There's plenty of free astrological sites. If you just know your day, time, month, and year you were born, mostly the time that you were born, it will spit out and you can see where Gemini and how it affects you as well. Gemini is a mutable sign. So if you are a mutable sign, which is Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces, the mutable signs, you'll feel this full moon or new moon energy. You may have already started to feel it because we're at the pre-shadow of this new moon. Mutable signs are considered to be highly adaptable, flexible, and communicative. The idea is if you throw a curveball at a mutable sign, they will quickly turn on a dime, recover, and in a bat of an eyelash, they'll be back on. Mutable signs embrace change. They're the type that go, oh, well, they may be famous for saying it is what it is type thing. So it should feel better because we're finally moving away from the fixed energy of Taurus, Scorpio, and Aquarius. You know, we've been in this heavy duty fixed energy, so we should feel a lot lighter and a lot freer. You know, another tenet of Gemini, they love personal freedom. Gemini is logical and wants to understand, uses words, speech, lots of talking. And so it's very important that Geminis get to express what they're feeling. Oftentimes artists, writers, and that expression comes through those as well. So Kathy LaDonna, she's great. I follow her Soul and Vibration on YouTube. She said this about Gemini. Gemini is community, communication. It's our friends from kindergarten to high school. It's people that we necessarily didn't pick, but due to our community and going to school together, we might have formed some friendships. But she calls these constituents. It's when you show up for a common interest. So we have a lot of constituents when we work in a company. I have a lot of constituents, and I'm lucky that I've made a lot of great lifelong friends, like my buddy Steve, who runs EB Beauty, which I'll talk about that again, but beautiful skincare line. But some people stay constituents. And what was funny to me that she mentioned is some of your family members can be constituents. It means that they're not a true friend or a confidant. And so the idea is sometimes people put a lot of credence, oh, with their family, their family, their family. But you know those weird cousins, those weird aunts and uncles, could even be grandparents, mother or father that you never feel quite connected to. So you don't feel bonded. So there's challenges that may be associated with this new moon because Neptune is in Pisces as well. Pisces governs the subconscious energy. So the Gemini twins exist in all of us. All of us have some Gemini inside of us. And we've been conditioned to be lopsided. We show two faces. So Gemini, when I think of Gemini, I actually think of four people. So it's kind of like if you're in a relationship with a Gemini, male or female, buckle up, hold on, because it's a ride. Because you don't know, not only are you talking to the twin, but each twin has two sides. All right. And then Braca Goldsmith, she's also on YouTube. She talked about both of these signs. So there's heavy duty Piscean energy right now with this Gemini energy. Both are dual signs. Gemini, the twins, and Pisces, the two fish. So Pisces, the two fish, are tethered together. They can't break away from each other. They're tethered. So just like Gemini are the twins. Gemini rules the hands and the arms, and Gemini and Pisces rules the feet. So this is a time that we need to make clear choices and not be diluted by other forces and influences. It's a time of fact versus fiction. And don't be surprised if people around you continuously and consciously or continually change their minds. Don't set your plans in stone. And I thought about this. I'm not Virgo and I don't have any earth in my chart. I think I have one sign in Virgo. But what I notice is in my planner, I keep my calendar on my phone digitally, but I'm old school. I always write things down in my physical planner. I always write it down in pencil because I'm guilty of changing my mind. Things come up and I need to change it. But I like to look at my calendar clear. So that way, if someone needs to make a change in me, I need to make a change in my calendar, I simply erase it. So when I look at the calendar, I am seeing the present moment. And then once it's passed, this is the nutty side of me, I write it in ink because it's inked. It's happened. It's been done. Okay. Gemini likes to have wiggle room. So again, me writing in pencil instead of pen gives me that wiggle room, okay? The big news is Mercury in Gemini is square to Saturn in Pisces. So what this has us questioning is, are we making wise choices and decisions right now? Are we making decisions too quickly, or are we making them too slow? This is also a time to be uplifting and authentic to others. So the thing is, authenticity shines through. We all have intuitive faculties. So when we're speaking from our heart, like I said, air to me represents the heart. When we really speak from our heart, that shines through. The biggest energetic news is Mercury is creating three aspects. Venus sextile at 11 degrees. 11 is considered the present moment awareness. Hey, Kokrazor, thanks for joining. Think from Seattle, welcome. So Venus is sextile. Mars is also sextile. What is a sextile? A sextile occurs when two planets are 60 degrees apart. Also, Venus and Mars are conjunct during this new moon. Venus is feminine, Mars is masculine. So it's the divine masculine and the divine feminine coming together. A conjunction occurs when two planets appear very, very close in the sky. So Gemini also rules relationships. Like I said, friendships, family, neighbors, colleagues, college mates, and roommates as well. Mercury, the ruler of Gemini, is also square to Saturn. So this is going to give you a lot of time to concentrate. A square occurs when the energies of planets do not line up. So one planet makes a move, the other one makes a move. The other one moves, the other one moves, but then they never align. It's considered a disharmonic time, okay? So the energies we're experiencing right now, just in this time-space reality in 2023, we've never seen before. So if you're feeling a little off-kilter, like you can't get solid ground and stable footing, it's not your fault. The outer planets are starting to move into retrograde. So I've talked about this in the last few talks. So the next few months, all the outer planets are moving in retrograde. So it's a time to think more deeply. It's about going into the aspects, the deeper aspects of what these planets represent. So right now on deck, Pluto is in retrograde. It represents power. So again, a retrograde is when the planets appear to move backwards, but it's just asking us to take a cosmic pause. Take a breath before you speak. Take a breath before you take action. Saturn is about control. So Saturn is the taskmaster planet that makes us do things, in order or properly. So on the new moon, Saturn is going into retrograde. And then there's Neptune. Neptune governs our emotions because it's in Pisces. You may be feeling overwhelmed, confused, like there's a lot of deception. Who can you trust? This is a time where you may feel flooded with toxicity. You may need to do a cleanse or a purge. But Neptune will help us connect with our spiritual selves so that we can find that oneness and that bliss. Gemini is a sign of activity, motion, communication, writing, speaking, words, listening, teaching, and also staying neutral. Gemini loves to be aware of all their options. They enjoy the moment, and they love to hear and share different viewpoints on different subjects. So Geminis, before they make a decision, they like to gather all of the data and stay neutral until they've gotten all the information for them to make that next step. So again, Gemini rules neighbors, schoolmates. Gemini energy helps us to see with new eyes. So let's go into numerology. As I've talked about all year long, we're in a 7-year. So 7-year slows us down even when we don't want to be slow. We're so used to being on the go, 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 but coming into 2023, you can feel it, you can see it, and even if you resist it, 2023 is going at its own pace, no matter how much we try to speed it up, because this is a very spiritual time. 7 is a spiritual number to help us strengthen our faith and reflect on it. 6 is a material-based number, nurturing and caring. So this new moon energy is coming in on the 17th. 1 is new beginning. 7 is a spiritual number, but it reduces to the number 8. 8 can sometimes feel like punishment, like you're circling the drains or circling the wagons, like you just can't get off of an endless loop. So the idea is 7, this 7 year is saying, don't try to avoid stillness. It's a good time to sit down and meditate. So this new moon is coming in at 26 degrees, which is also an 8. So let me back up. It's the 17th Pacific Standard Time. It's the 18th on the East Coast because it comes in at 12:37 a.m. Eastern Time, but at 9:37 p.m. Pacific Time. So I'm speaking about Pacific Time, that we've got a double 8. 17 equals an 8, and then 26 degrees is an 8. What it comes down to is that faith. We just got to have faith in the process, faith in ourselves. Keep putting the work in and have the faith. And stop focusing on why things aren't working and focus on what is working. Again, that duality. So what to do during this time? Explore what dreams you no longer need to carry. It's okay to have dreams and have them not come to fruition. Sometimes we feel like losers because we planned all these things and they didn't happen. Take a moment to honor what is meant to be. We're able to dream and have fantasies all the time, and we don't constantly have to perform. This is why one of the tenets of when you're creating something and envisioning something and giving birth to something is to stay quiet about it. You just tell a few trusted souls who really have your back and your highest intention. So that way, if you don't do it, they go, oh, well, you're on to something else. Whereas if you publicly broadcast it, you've got to go back and answer to a bunch of people on why you didn't do that thing. This is a sacred moment to pause, just pause. How to make the most of it. You want to just let everything play out with people, places, and things. You just want to stand back, and instead of looking so narrowly like what you can just see in front of you, is a time to dive into your intuition and take in the big picture. Look at where you want to go and look down the line so that you can be more strategic. Get accustomed to not just taking everything at face value. And this is a good time to do that, to get out in front of things. Again, are you focused on the things that are working? 9 times out of 10, there's more things working than not working. And I think the operative word is called gratitude. So much to be grateful for. Visit your daily holy sanctuary. My daily holy sanctuary is meditation, breath work, prayer, and journaling. When I am doing those every day, I am visiting my holy sanctuary. It allows me that time to turn inward and take that cosmic breath before I move forward. Gemini is linked with choices. So again, find out where Gemini lands in your chart, which house governs Gemini. Gemini governs choices, and it's about what choices are going to make us feel safe and what choices are going to give our souls growth. Unfortunately, when we grow and our soul grows, it usually is followed by kind of a hectic, tumultuous, or stressful time. The idea is just don't keep barreling along and along. Try to find yourself going with the flow. Ask to look at the changes you are making. Are your choices based strictly on logic or too much emotion? Again, we've got this Gemini energy and this heavy Pisces energy. So this Piscean energy can have you making decisions and acting out of emotion versus fact or reality. Each of us are growing and evolving every single day. So now is the time to break patterns that you're comfortable with. And it's time again to lead with faith. Trust in your heart and you will never be lost. Energy update. What a powerful month. So 6/3, we had the full moon in Sagittarius. Again, that fiery energy that burned the pathway into this new moon, this new spring moon energy of Gemini. Venus entered Leo for the month, so we're still enjoying this delicious Venus energy this month in Leo. 6/11, Mercury entered Gemini, which is one of Gemini's home bases. So again, Mercury. 6/11, Pluto went retrograde in Capricorn. 6/17, Saturn went retrograde in Aquarius. 6/18, this Sunday is Father's Day. 6/19, Juneteenth. 6/21, we get into Cancer season, and boy, is Cancer season coming in high style and fashion. The summer solstice will happen as well on 6/21. And 6/27, I thought this was interesting. I'm always curious about new things. The planet Sedna. Now, I know in my goddess deck, I pulled the card, the goddess Sedna. But Sedna is an outer planet that was discovered in 2003. And it is said that after Mars, it is the second reddish object in the solar system. It is estimated that Sedna is 3/4 the size of Pluto. It is said that Sedna is likely the largest object found in the solar system since Pluto was discovered in 1930. It has an 11,400 year orbit, and this brings galactic information. So look it up. Something interesting to learn. Sedna, I know I love the goddess Sedna. The cards that have Sedna on it are always beautiful and kind of calm. And I leave you with this closing. It's by Infinite Succulent. I thought this was a great way to close this message about this new moon in Gemini. Gemini energy can have us also overthinking every small detail while being distracted by all the shiny things around us. Do your best to stay aware of how your fast-paced thoughts are influencing your emotions with this new moon. During the Gemini new moon, we are guided to change our thoughts and welcome in new supportive perspectives and beliefs. One method we can take to make change is to discern between our emotions influenced by thoughts versus emotions influenced by our soul. How do we do this? There are countless ways, yet a practice that works is listening to your body and learning to dive deep beneath the emotions crashing over on the surface. New moon in Gemini feels so good. And I wanted to say, I haven't talked much about it, but I have a podcast and it's called Astrodology. Astridlogie. Astrodology. It's a solo cast for now, but going forward, I will have guests. I'll start to have some guests come in. But the emphasis of the podcast is to talk about spiritual aspects more in depth. Mostly right now, I've got stuff about the astrological readings for the new moon, full moon. But what I recently started doing is downloading how the new moon or the full moon affects your individual zodiac sign. So it's just a quick 12-minute listen, but you can listen to how this astrological time will affect you. Yeah, thanks for the name. You know, my buddy Euron at Welltime gave me that name, Astrodology, because it's like I'm always talking about this or that, but it's always around this astral energy, which my name actually means a star in the sky. So thank you. But it's a time to, you listen in and see exactly how it's going to affect you. Some of them were funny this time. I found myself laughing out loud reading some of them, but it's good stuff. So again, join me on Astrology. And connect with friends and family. You'll notice, I don't know if you've noticed, but I found my tribe coming forward and helping me out. People are coming from the woodwork to give me words of inspiration, encouragement, and literal physical support. More to come on that as we move forward. Have a great weekend. Enjoy this beautiful, auspicious weekend. New moon in Gemini coming in on Friday night, Pacific Standard Time. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. And also, we have 2 weeks to enjoy and to live out the energy with the 3 days of the 72 hours, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We'll have that time to really energize ourselves with this new moon in Gemini. Thank you, Gemini, for this refreshment and this air that you have bringing to us right now. Namaste, everybody, and have a great weekend. Take care.